Welcome back. This is assignment 9 in week 2. So let's go through it together to get an idea of what it is we're trying to do here. We need to, of course, log into Terminal 2. And then we're going to change directories a couple of times. First, we're going to go to the etc directory. Remember, etc is a directory right off the root or the top of your tree or hierarchy. And then we want to determine file types. And there's another number of ways of doing it. One way is with the list command, where you're listing files, ls. Another way of doing it is with the file command. So we're going to take a quick look at these two different methods to determine file types. And we'll see there's a lot of files there inside the etc directory, so they just scroll past us. So to slow it down, we will use additional commands like less and more, and that will help us view the files one at a time. So let's go ahead now and log into Linux. And we need a terminal window, and we call this bash. So once it's fully loaded, I will then go to Applications, System, Terminal, and I'll do the work from here. Let me zoom in a little bit so my fonts are a little bit larger, a little bit easier to read. Maybe I zoomed in a bit too much. Let's zoom out. Now, the book may ask you to, or the assignment 9 will ask you to do this from Terminal 2 or 3. So hold down Control-Alt and then press F2 at the top. And right below my mouse, you will see we're in TTY2 or Terminal 2. Now, like I said, it really doesn't make a difference if you do it from Terminal 2. Let me go back to Terminal 1, Control-Alt, F1, and I'm back in the graphic user interface. It really doesn't make a difference at all where you do it. To make it easier to read, I'll do it from here, and you can do it from Terminal 2. Both are perfectly good. Now, as you can see, this is the user I'm logged on as currently. I'm going to log on as the super user. So to switch user, we do su root, or if you just do su switch user by itself, it will automatically log you in as the super user. So enter the password for the super user. Remember that the assignment uses secret as a password, or just simply whatever password you entered when you were installing Linux. Now, let's go to the etc directory. So I'm going to do /. Remember, / is the top of your tree. etc. And let's look at the files there. I'm going to type ls, and I see a whole bunch of files. I can scroll through, and it went rather quickly. Let me clear the screen, and this time I'm going to slow it down a bit. And there are two ways of doing it. I'm going to look for the bar symbol, this symbol right here. Now, it's a little bit hard to find on a French keyboard, so you may need to pause this video and then go search for it. It's usually somewhere on the right side, close to the enter key, and you may need to hold the shift key down in order to select it. Now, if I do less and then put the bar symbol and type more, if I do the pipe symbol and then type less and press enter, I see it gives it to me one page at a time, and I can just press the space bar, or if I press enter, it gives it to me one line at a time. At any time, I can quit out just by pressing Q. Now, a very similar command to that is, let me put my pipe in there, that's called a pipe. that bar symbol, more. And it does exactly the same thing. Well, almost exactly. So I can scroll through all those files, and I can quit out at any time by pressing Q. Now, whatever we do in this window here in a Bash terminal, we should also be able to do from the graphic user interface. That's my bird there. I have a bird beside me. Let's click on Computer, go to the File System, and now we're in Root. We're looking down on the File System, and there is ETC, and that's what we were looking at in the terminal window. The blue icons are folders, and if we scroll further down, the other items you see there, the other icons, those are the files. Now, let's explore file type. There's a few different ways of doing this. There's at least 5 or 6 different ways of determining file type. Let me clear the screen. Okay, I'm going to do ls again, but this time I'm going to do ls-F. Now look at the difference here. When I press enter, I see a symbol beside each file. A // is a directory. An ampersand, that's called a symbolic link. It's like a Windows shortcut. Okay, let's do this in another directory. I'm going to go now, let's clear the screen. I am now going to go to the bin directory, also off the root near the top. Let's do this again, ls-F. And let's take a look. So again, we can see here we have symbolic links, okay? But we also have these stars. These are executable programs or files. So that is one of the ways of determining file type by typing ls-F and looking at the symbol beside it. Let's look at some other ways for determining file type. There is also ls-L. Now, if I press enter here and I go right to the far left here, I can see a lot of information, and we're going to learn that, but I'm only interested in that very first character that I see. Now, it's either going to be a letter like L, or it's going to be a hyphen, or it's going to be something else. And that's another way of determining file type. And we'll learn that soon. The files, by the way, are also color-coded. I want to leave you with one last way to determine file type. Now let's take any file that we see here. How about the unlink file? There is a command called file to determine file type. So let's take a look at that. File, and then the name of the file that you want to determine. And let's press enter. And there's the information. I know it's a little bit hard to read, but if you force yourself, you will see that this is an executable file. I am going to go to one more location here on my Linux machine. I'm going to go to the dev directory. And if I'm going too fast at any moment, you can just pause or rewind and do it on your own system. Let's go ahead and type ls here. And I'm going to pick one of these files here. I am going to pick maybe the 0 file. So if I type file and the name of the file, 0, and press enter, I see this is called a character file. So that's a quick way of determining file type in Linux. And we'll look more at the specifics of the symbols and what they mean and the types of file type and the different types of file in a theory lesson. But right now, I just want you to get some practice actually typing those commands. So ls-L, ls-F, and also the file command. That is another way of determining file type.